All right, today I'm going over 3 of the hottest suburbs in Chicago right now. So if you are thinking of making a move, you are gonna wanna watch this video because not only am I gonna talk to you about some of the suburbs that you should have on your list that have great schools, decent commutes, awesome downtowns, but I'm gonna talk to you at the end about how you can compare one versus the other. If I were gonna be buying, this is exactly what I would do to decide which place should be my home. So if you're thinking about making that move to the suburbs, stick around. All right, so before going into the specific communities, I don't just randomly pick, oh, this community, this community. So there is some criteria that I try to use, okay, when I'm picking these. So commute is huge, right? So a big thing people are looking for, commutes that are not obscene, right? An hour, hour and a half. So that's a big part of it. I know for a lot of my clients, school districts are really important. So that's another thing that I factor into, all right? Also, the downtown area, the vibrancy of that. Is there restaurants, shops, maybe the types of shops you like or you don't like. That's important. It might not just be, oh, they're shops, because each community is sort of a little bit different in that respect. Is there recreational activities around there, things to do? What's the housing stock like, the median sales price? All of those things that I put together to say, to give you why I think these 3 communities are 3 of the hottest communities right now. All right, so the first community that I am talking about today, and I'm gonna show you why it's on people's short list, is Downers Grove, right? Downers Grove is about 23 miles west of Chicago, downtown Chicago. But one of the reasons it's on this is because of the train. All right, and at one point, Downers Grove, just to give you an idea of the vibe of it, was rated by Forbes as one of the friendliest communities to live in the entire United States. So this gives you a little bit of an idea about Downers Grove. Now, the 3 communities I'm gonna talk about today, Downers Grove has sort of the least vibrant, I would say, downtown. You know, it doesn't have as many restaurants, it's not as big, but there is still lots of stuff to do. You have the Tivoli movie theater, which is a 1920s movie theater that's still operational. They have live events, they play movies. It's been a staple of the community. It's a destination place. I used to go there as a kid, just like the Tivoli bowling alley, which is still around. These are historic structures and have been part of the community. So in terms of dining options, you have like places like Pierce Tavern for burgers and whiskey, Cadence Kitchen for more of like an Americana type of a thing. If you want like a local pint, Emmett's Brewing is good. They have Saturday farmers markets. There's a Fishel Park where they have a lot of concerts and stuff. So there's this really family-friendly atmosphere. There's a lot of stuff going on in the parks and people use the downtown. It's just not so much of a destination downtown that you might find in some of the other communities. So if you're really looking for a place with tons of restaurants, lots of shops, Downers Grove is a little bit smaller, but it does have a downtown and there is always stuff to do down there. So that is one of the things that a lot of people like, having a downtown area, and that's why Downers Grove makes the list, in addition to what I'm gonna talk about next, which is the commute. One of the things that I get is so many people, commute is a big part of this. Now, if you work from home, or you don't work in the city, right? These options, a lot of people are working in the city, but you really want to take commute into account. And one of the great things about Downers Grove is it's on the Metro line, the BNSF line. And there's 3 stations in Downers Grove, which is not the norm, right? A lot of places only have 1 station or maybe 2 stations, so it gives you options. Now, how long is it gonna take you to get downtown? So you have Main Street and Belmont, which are the 2 main stations that have the bulk of the passengers. They have about 880 parking spots amongst different lots, so it's also a usable Metro line, unlike some places like Oak Park where it's almost unfunctional because you can't get there unless you live really close to there. So you have options. Now, the Main Street and Belmont, it's gonna take about 35 or 40 minutes to get downtown, and you have express train options, which is great. The Fairview stop, it's gonna take you closer to 50 minutes to get downtown, and you don't really have express trains. So you always want to factor this in, and I'm gonna talk about this later when I talk to you about the test that I'm gonna do between the 2 communities, which you're gonna wanna stick around for. But the thing is that you wanna think about, where are you gonna live to get to the train, the 40 minutes that it's gonna take you on the train, and then where is your job once you get off the train. You really wanna factor that in, because 40 minutes on the train is probably gonna be a minimum of an hour commute, so you want to think about that. Now, in terms of if you don't take the train, another great thing about Downers Grove is its proximity to 3 of the major expressways we have around here, which is I-355, I-88, and I-55, which makes it so that you can utilize and get places, right? Whether it be work, whether if you travel for work, those types of things. Now, if you're in South Downers Grove and you need to get up to I-88, it's probably gonna take you a little while. So you want to factor these things in. You want to make sure that, oh, it's not just Downers Grove. It might be a part of Downers Grove that's going to make your life more manageable, and that's something you want to do. Now, in terms of neighborhoods and housing, you're probably watching this because you're looking to buy a home and then get a feel for what it's going to be like. And one cool thing about Downers Grove, it is the geographically biggest community that I'm talking about in this video. It's over 14 square miles. It's got a population of about 50,000 people. So once again, it's also the largest population-wise of the three communities that I'm talking about today. And so you have a lot of options. Now, in the downtown area, close to the downtown is we're going to have traditional bungalows, craftsman bungalows, old Victorian houses, and the price point is going to reflect your proximity to the train, which is what you're going to see throughout the suburbs. The closer you are to the trains and public transportation, the values are generally higher, and you get mostly older homes, right? So you have a place like Pierce Downer, which is in that downtown area, which gets you those old craftsman type houses. It's going to be more expensive, but you have other options, which some of the other communities you don't have some of that stuff. If you head southwest, you'll find Orchard Brook, which is, for some people coming from another part of the country, might be exactly what you're looking for. It's that HOA vibe with tennis courts and pools and things like that. It was a 1960s subdivision, and so a lot of places we don't have that, right? The farther you get east towards Chicago, the less you have of these subdivision type places. So if that's sort of your vibe, Downers Grove might be the place for you. You also have places like farther south where you have like 80s and 90s developments, which is like Fairview Point. That's the type of place that you're gonna find a little newer construction versus some of the old like 1920s homes that you're gonna find closer to downtown. So that's another thing that I like about Downers Grove is you have options in terms of not only style of house, but sort of type of community that you want to be in, whether it be more of that traditional old gridded system or you want more of that subdivision type of a feel. You can get both of those in Downers Grove. And in terms of housing prices, right, it is also the least expensive community median sales price. As of like August of 2025, the median sales price was about $530,000, which is considerably less than some of the other communities, the two other communities that I'm going to talk about today in this video. So Downers Grove, you get that community vibe. You can somewhat easy access to downtown. I'm going to talk about schools in a little bit, and you have a lower median entry point and you still get good schools. So the school district, you have District 58, which covers the elementary and middle schools, and then District 99 is the high school. And there's two high schools. And this is the thing about schools around here. It can be very subjective. I always say you should, if you really want to dig deep, go to the Illinois School Report Card. But we have Downers Grove North and Downers South. And I have people that live in the community, I love South, I love North, I don't like North. It's so subjective. But in terms of just pure ratings, right now at great schools, Downers Grove South is rated about 8 out of 10, and Downers Grove North is 9 or 10 out of 10, sorry. That's the thing, they move. I looked a couple weeks ago, it was 9, then it was 10 out of 10. So it changes and it's fluid, the ratings. So that's why I say don't always go on ratings, but you do have two high schools. And one of the important things that I always talk about is if schools are important to you, you need to be it's very address specific here. Your specific address determines if you go to North or South. And if you live there, you can't just say, well, I want to go to North because I think it's a better school. It's where you live. And so you definitely want to check that out if you are gravitating towards one school or another, and it might narrow your search options. But that's a decision that you need to make, whether or not you want to pick one specific school. But if you are concerned about being in one specific school, you want to make sure, and I'll help you do that you are in the boundary that you need to be in, because we have really wacky boundaries and stuff. But good schools is a staple of why most of these places are vibrant and why people want to move there. And Downers Grove fits that bill, and it's one of the reasons it's on my list. So there's also a lot of recreational opportunities around here. You have Lyman Woods Nature Center in Downers Grove, which is a huge nature center, lots of trails, hiking, things like that. So there's a lot of outdoor activities as well in Downers Grove, which I really like. I love that kind of stuff. So why is Downers Grove on my list, and why should you maybe keep it in your radar? Because it's got that easy access to downtown lifestyle where a lot of people, you can walk off the train, get a beer, go back, stop in for a beer, maybe a coffee, go back home, you know what I mean? And it's gonna be a comfortable lifestyle for a lot of people. Good schools, easy access to the public transportation, a diverse housing stock. So for that reason, Downers Grove makes my list of the 3 hottest suburbs right now in Chicago. So you're watching this video, you're probably looking to buy a house, right? And I love talking about the community, sort of getting you an idea of where you might find your place, but my job really is to help you buy a house. That's what I do. I don't just talk to you about communities and stuff like that. I help you find a house, and part of that is helping you get the right house. That is my job. Helping make sure that you don't overpay for a home, or maybe you have to overpay, and helping you understand that that's the marketplace, right? But I want to help you figure out if you are going to be water issues in the house. There's micro locations that you might not be aware of, or layouts that might not work super well or be good for resale. I'm always going to be looking at resale. And my motto is, would rather you buy no house than the wrong house. I truly live by that. I go into every property and try to explain to you why you might not want to buy it. Now, you're going to buy a property, but I want you to be aware of the issues, right? For resale and things that you might not think about, water being a big one. So if that's the type of realtor that you're looking for, like I said, I'm gonna go and talk about these next suburbs, and I love helping people find their place, but my job is to help you get an amazing house and be patient with you, right? And help you walk through the process. And one thing that you need to think about, if you're watching this from afar and moving to the Chicago suburbs and you don't live here, I work with tons of people who live here and are coming in from out of the area. As much as where you're going to live, you need to think about, how are you going to buy that home? I mean, practically, how are you going to find and buy that home? Because you know what we have here in these 3 suburbs that I'm talking about in this video, or pretty much anywhere around here, Chicago, the city, properties sell like this. I had a client that reached out, YouTube, we're looking for a place right now in the city. Places are selling in 24 hours. So they don't live here. So how do you do that? You need to think about that. Are you going to come in every time a property comes on the market? Are you going to fly in for a week and try to buy a house in a week, which is a recipe for disaster? You need to call me so we can work this out, because that's a challenge when places go in 24, 48 hours and you are trying to do this from afar, and it can be extremely frustrating. And I've had sellers not accept offers because the clients were not there in person and just saw a video tour. So this is a challenge that you have to work out. So anyways, I want to put that in there, because reach out to me if you're watching this video, because I'm not here just to talk to you about these communities. I'm here to try to help you buy the best home for your family for the least amount of money, and that's my job. All right, so the second community that I think you should be looking at, and is a hot suburb right now. I just had some clients buy here this last spring, and over asking, of course, because that's what happens in a lot of these communities. It is Elmhurst, and Elmhurst has just exploded in the last 15 years or so. When my dad grew up there, it was a small little town, not a very big downtown. It is anchored by the York Theater, which I love. I've been going to movies there since I was a little kid with my dad and my grandmother. But Elmhurst has exploded, and it's got a really good sort of energy downtown. Lots of restaurants, right? Lots of restaurants, lots of boutique shops. You have restaurants like Francesca's, 151 Kitchen Bar. There's like a lot of little boutique shops. It's bigger, there's more real estate, there's a lot of stuff. Hamburger Heaven, right? Old Hamburger Heaven, which I still love going to. Just went there the other day. So Elmhurst has got a really vibrant downtown, and it's a big reason why people are choosing to live there. It's the type of place people are like, I don't need to go into the city as much anymore, because I have almost everything that I want in downtown Elmhurst, which is a little different than Downers Grove. It's just not as big. So Elmhurst downtown is a huge reason why people live there. And what else? Why are people moving to these places? I'm going to go over the commute. Commuting from Elmhurst is about 17 miles west of downtown Chicago. Now, it is on the train line again. It's going to get you into Ogilvy instead of Union Station, and it's going to take about 25 minutes with an express train, and there's lots of express trains. The people that I know that live there, they get off the train, they're home in 25 minutes, they're able to get to their kids' ball games. Once again, depending on where you live, because geographically, Elmhurst is also spread out. The farther south you get, the newer types of homes, newer subdivisions, lower entry point. As always, the closer you get to the train, the more expensive that you have it. But that's another big thing about Elmhurst. You are also really close to the expressways here, right? To get onto 290, to get onto 88, 355. There's a lot of options here in Elmhurst as well. So that is why a lot of people really like Elmhurst. It's really easy to get downtown. You have a really vibrant downtown area. There's lots of stuff going on. There's Elmhurst College, actually. There's a really beautiful downtown park, just a little south of downtown. There's a lot of stuff. Now, in terms of housing and prices, the median sales price in Elmhurst is higher than you have in Downers Grove by almost $100,000, right? So in terms of median sales price, you're looking at about $640,000. Now, the closer you get to downtown Elmhurst, you have places that are $2 million, new construction, that's very common there. One of the things about Elmhurst, unlike some of the other communities, is it's known for teardowns. There are some areas that they have done massive teardowns in the early 2000s where they would just tear down these old ranches, and there's lots of them throughout Elmhurst. Some of the other communities don't have that for different reasons, but Elmhurst has a lot of teardowns, so it is the type of place that you can get more new construction or newer construction if that's something that you're interested in. And some of the southern communities are more of that post World War II construction, more of that subdivision-y vibe. So the housing stock in Elmhurst is a little more expensive. You are closer, that's what you're gonna see. A lot of times the closer you get to downtown. Now, another reason people love it is the school system. Now, one of the interesting things about the school system here is that our school systems, like I said, they can be challenging, right? Brookfield has 4 different elementary school districts. I talked about 2 different high schools in Downers Grove, so you have to pay attention to that. In Elmhurst, there's 1 school district. Your kid will go from the time that they go to school to the end, 1 school district, which that continuity a lot of my clients like. They like that there. And York Community High School is well known throughout the area as being one of the most outstanding high schools. It's like a 10 out of 10 at great schools, A+ rating on niche. It is also really well known for its music program. It has jazz bands, a cappella bands. If music and arts, it is very well known for that, for the music and for the arts. So that is why Elmhurst makes the list. It's easy access to downtown. It has an awesome downtown Chicago. It has its own awesome downtown. It has really highly rated schools. You know, once again, you get that you can go from $2 million down to 400, 500,000, a little bit higher median price, but Elmhurst, if you're looking for a place with good schools, proximity to the city, Elmhurst absolutely needs to be on your radar. Once again, you want to make sure that you're buying in the right part of town, and Elmhurst has some serious flooding issues that you're gonna wanna reach out. I'm always talking about water when I work with people, about basement flooding, but Elmhurst has some serious river flooding that I've done in another video. So if you're thinking Elmhurst, you're definitely gonna wanna check that out, because I talk about there are certain areas that literally feet of water in the streets and people, going out on boats and stuff. They've done some work to try to mitigate that, but that is an issue in Elmhurst that you want to be aware of. But I absolutely know that so many people that I know, clients, are thinking that Elmhurst is going to be the right place for them because of that mix. And now I'm going on to the third and last community, and then at the end, I'm going to talk to you about how, if I were you, I would compare these communities to see which one is really going to be right for you. All right, so the third and last hot suburb of Chicago that I'm going to talk about right now is one that I love, and it's LaGrange. LaGrange is a great community. It is about 13 miles west of Chicago, so it is a little closer than the other 2 communities that I just talked about, Elmhurst and Downers Grove. It is also by far the smallest. It's only 2.5 square miles. It's about 16,000 residents, so it's like a third of the size, which is going to mean fewer housing opportunities. And with its proximity to the city, the schools, the commute, the downtown, which I'm about to talk about, there's high demand, lots of multiple offers, and not a lot of opportunities. So what can you expect if you move to LaGrange? LaGrange has one of the coolest downtowns around. Now, I did a video, a vlog walking around, showing you the downtown. Not as friendly as some of the communities I've done vlogs in and walked around and sort of shown that stuff, but there's a lot of awesome restaurants. You have Karma Bistro, which is one of the best Indian restaurants around. You have the Elm, you have Steak and Vine. It is really a destination downtown for a lot of people. There's boutique shops, there's local ice cream shops. It's got an awesome downtown vibe to it. So now what's cool about it is the commute. People love the commute, and I think it's underlooked. Not just a commute from the train, which you can get downtown in about 25 minutes with express trains, which there's a lot of them. There's 2 stations, and you can actually park at some of them. But a lot of people want to walk or ride their bike, and that's, the closer you get. Once again, the houses are older and they're more expensive for what you get. The farther south you go, south of 47th, you're going to get more for your money. But you want to look into the schools, and we're going to talk about schools in a minute here. But you can get downtown in about 25 minutes on an express train, and you are also close to 88. You're close to I-290 and I-55, so it's super easy to get to Midway Airport or O'Hare Airport. And if you don't want to take the train, it's actually not super long to actually get downtown if you want to drive. So for that reason, people really like LaGrange. It's got that downtown vibe, small town feel because it's not super big. One of the things people complain about, it can get a little boring if you like going out late at night. Restaurants close a little bit early, and you have one of the best high schools in Illinois, which is Lyons Township High School. And so Lyons Township High School is a little bit different than most of the other high schools in the area in that they have the south and north campuses. So freshmen and sophomore go to one school and juniors and seniors another, which is a little unique wrinkle, but something that you might want to pay attention to. You also have a lot of feeder communities that come into Lyons Township. So there are some communities that a little bit less pricey that you might want to look into. Reach out, we can talk about that, right? And you know what? You might not be care about the schools. If you're watching this, I help people downsize that don't care about the schools. Maybe you want a community you can take advantage of some of this stuff, but you don't need the schools. And so reach out. There are places that, the majority of people I work with, that's important, but not everybody is important. So Lyons Township, 10 out of 10 on great schools, A+ on niche. It is just well known as one of the most desirable communities, which makes housing expensive here. So the median sales price for a single family home was like $679,000. So it is the most expensive of the three communities that I mentioned. It's also the closest. There's also fewer homes, but you have really wide lots, tree-lined streets. It is a very idyllic type of community. And people love it because, it's not super big. So walking to almost anywhere, walking to the train is not super far. And if you're willing to ride a bike, although call me in February because it gets a little bit cold. So LaGrange is a really, really desirable community and one of the reasons why it's on my hottest 3 suburbs in Chicago right now. So if you want to learn more about these communities, about housing in these communities, about how you can go about actually buying a house and securing it from afar, reach out to me. I would love to sit down and talk, watch some of my other videos about different areas so you can try to find where it's going to work for you. And like I said, now I want to tell you how, if you are going to pick these 2 communities, what I would do for you, what I would suggest you do if you're thinking, hey, should I maybe pick Downers Grove or LaGrange? Well, right now, I'm going to tell you what I would do if I were you. All right, so I told you I was going to give you a tip on what I would do if I was debating between one or the other community. Now you can look at both, obviously, but if you're saying I really want to choose one community and then find a home in that community, here's what I recommend. You want to do a 2 commute test, right? I'm going to recommend, and this can be hard from afar, but I think if you don't do this, you're setting yourself up for not being happy with the home that you purchase. And so I would recommend you do the following. Let's say you want to choose Downers Grove versus Elmhurst. Go to Downers Grove to maybe a house that was on the market that sold or that's on the market and see how that commute really is and do it. Actually do it. Walk there, drive there, whatever you would do. Do it on a Tuesday and do it on a Thursday. Go there in the morning, come back in the evening. So you want to do two days, not just one. Let's see what it is because, it can vary. The feel can be different. Maybe the train's late on a Thursday and you realize that it's not always on time, right? So that's one thing you want to do. So I'm also going to recommend that you drive and try to drive, if you can, on a day where the weather's not so nice. So if you're going to maybe drive sometimes to work, do that drive, especially on a rainy day. So you want to test out the commute via the train, 2 days, and test out the drive. 2 days ideally, but at least one, and hopefully some rain or something like that. And then what I want you to do, and I recommend this for every house, if you can, which is not always realistic, is to go there at night, 7 o'clock or so, turn off your car and walk around. How does the vibe feel? Walk around the parks, maybe walk around the downtown area. How do you feel in this community? All right, and lastly, I want you to look at the bills, right? What you're actually gonna spend, right? And generally the difference is gonna be taxes for most of these places. But look at a house and see if I bought this house, this would be my monthly payment, and if I bought this house, this would be my monthly payment. One in Downers Grove, one in Elmhurst. And if you do those, what I want you to think about is, which gave you a shorter commute time, but more importantly, which made you feel better, okay? And so that combination of commute, monthly payment, and the feeling that you get is how you're gonna decide which one is right for you. And hopefully if you do those things, I think it'll become clear which one you just feel more comfortable. It's like a house. right? You're gonna see a bunch of houses, and when you get into the right one, you're gonna feel that, and you're gonna know that it's the right house for you. And if you want an agent who's gonna help you with this, reach out. Check out some of my other videos too about different stuff and different things in the community so you can get a feel for what community might work best for you. I would absolutely love to help you buy the right house and help you not buy a house if it's not the right thing for you. So reach out, shoot me a message, an email, give me a call, whatever works best for you, and I'd love to help you make the Chicago suburbs your home.